Approves the report of the government's financial position 2019. The critical cases resulted from the coronavirus are increasing. The Ministry of Education announces the mechanisms for students' performance assessment for the scholastic year 2019-2020. And the Ministry of Health announces 55 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 980 recoveries. The Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council approved at its third meeting this year the report prepared on the government's financial position in light of the actual final accounts for the fiscal year 2019. The Council also discussed a memorandum on the financial situation and the expected results of the state budget for 2020 due to the effects of the global economic conditions on the Sultanate. The Council stressed the need to continue to follow economic developments and their effects on the financial situation and take the appropriate measures required. The Council also reviewed the report on the performance of the electricity sector and the proposed mechanisms to improve its efficiency. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Darwish bin Ismail Lublushi, Minister responsible for Financial Affairs and Deputy Chairman of the Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, stressed that it was noticed that people during the holy month of Ramadan have not adhered to precautionary measures for coronavirus COVID-19 and that social distancing has not been followed in some governorates of the Sultanate, stressing that the virus is spreading very fast. He pointed this out during the press conference of the Supreme Committee responsible for dealing with developments resulted from the spread of coronavirus COVID-19. He added that the critical cases resulted from the virus are increasing. His Excellency the Minister of Health also said that most cases recorded yesterday were among labor gatherings and appropriate measures had been taken by government bodies to deal with this. During the press conference of the COVID-19 Supreme Committee, Her Excellency Dr. Madiha bint Ahmed Al-Shaybaniya, Minister of Education, announced mechanisms for student performance assessment for the scholastic year 2019-2020. She said that students at grade 1 till 11 at the public and private schools shall be transferred to the next grade except conditions stipulated in the Ministerial Decision number 93/2020, except private schools which implement international qualifications, and they shall be provided with supplementary program next scholastic year. She also said that the results of the second semester of general diploma students at private and public schools, except those private schools with international qualifications, shall be assessed based on a statistical treatment which is applied internationally. She added that the results will be announced by mid of next month. Dr. Hussein bin Ali Al-Kharousi, Dean of Admissions and Registration at the Sultan Qaboos University, clarified that the model approved for calculating the grades of the second semester of general education diploma students will not affect the results of any student. He added that the joint team concerned with coming up with mechanisms for dealing with the marks of the 12th grade students reviewed several models in this regard to assess their grades for the second semester through their achievements in the first semester. He added that in this regard, a number of guidelines were put up as follows. The result will not affect any student. The level of error in the assessment shall be as low as possible. The model shall be fair for both genders and among the Directorate Generals of Education. It shall take into consideration a large possible number of data and previous years of study performance of the students. His Excellency Dr. Hamoud bin Khalfan Al-Harthi, Undersecretary of the Ministry of Education for Education and Curricula, stressed that the application of electronic education in private schools for children is not easy. He added that around 60% of these schools are related to early education stages as well as first and second grades. He said that a number of efforts were exerted regarding the private schools category through programs and platforms. He further said that an education platform was also opened for private schools. In addition to that, the Directorate General for Private Schools opened YouTube channels for some grades. In appreciation of the teacher role, the Acting Undersecretary of the Ministry of Education for Educational Planning and Human Resources Development, Dr. Saif bin Saeed Al-Ma'mari, affirmed that the rights of the teaching cadres are inviolable. He as well added that the ministry is sticking to the contracts of buses and cleaning companies and teachers until the 28th of June, despite the suspending of classes since the 15th of March. Director General of Admission Center at the Ministry of Education, Dr. Hamad bin Khalfan al-Nu'mani, affirmed that the sorting results for those accepted in the higher education institutions will be announced in the 11th of August. He as well added that the registration stage in the center started in the 1st of April until the 1st of June. He also stated that the number of students who registered in the center reached over 37,800 until today, and there will be enough time for others to register. The Ministry of Health announced 55 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, which brings the total number registered in the Sultanate to 2,958, including 14 deaths. The Ministry of Health stresses that 980 cases have been recovered. Still to come in our news bulletin. Australia conducts a conservation project to save seahorses as they are classified as endangered species.
Non-compliance with the directives of the Supreme Committee dealing with coronavirus COVID-19 exposes you to risk and legal action. Stay safe.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. A chemical gas leaked from an industrial plant in southern India early today, leaving people struggling to breathe and collapsing in the streets as they tried to flee. At least 11 people died and about 1,000 suffered breathing difficulties and other problems. Several people fainted on the road and were rushed to a hospital in the city of Visakhapatnam. The dead included an 8-year-old girl. The synthetic chemical styrene leaked from the LG Polymers plant, which workers were preparing to restart after it was closed during the coronavirus lockdown. A fire that broke out before the gas leak was extinguished, and police said that the gas leak was later halted and the air had cleared. Nearly 1,000 people in an area of 3 kilometers complained of breathing difficulties and burning sensation in their eyes. Wildfires have continued to spread through fields in Siberia on the back of a heat wave which has hit the entire region. Temperatures in Siberia are around 15 degrees Celsius higher than the normal for the time of the year. Zabaikalaski Krai, the region hit by the most of the fires, hasn't seen significant rainfalls for the last 3 months. Russia's Aerial Forest Protection Service said that more than 458 square kilometers are on fire in Russia. Regional authorities have issued hundreds of fines to local residents and farmers for violating the safety regulations. According to Greenpeace in Russia, the number of wildfires has increased by 20% since the start of the coronavirus lockdown, in part due to city dwellers escaping to the countryside. The white seahorse, also known as the Sydney seahorse, or by its Latin name Hippocampus whitei, is a native to Australia's east coast. Its habitat stretches almost 1,500 kilometers from Hervey Bay in the Fraser Coast region of the state of Queensland to the St. George Basin, a town in the South Coast region of New South Wales. The white seahorse is listed as endangered species. The new conservation project is a collaboration between Sea Life Sydney Aquarium and SW Department of Primary Industries Fisheries and the University of Technology of Sydney. Seahorses are one of only 3 animal species where pregnancy and giving birth is undertaken by the male. Male seahorses receive eggs from the female, hosting them in a pouch on their abdomen. The eggs are fertilized by sperm inside the pouch and are incubated for 24 days. Seahorses are monogamous and mate for life. The male white seahorse can give birth to 150 to 200 fry at once. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. The Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council approves the report of the government's Financial Position 2019. The critical cases resulted from the coronavirus are increasing. The Ministry of Education announces the mechanisms for students' performance assessment for the scholastic year 2019-2020. And the Ministry of Health announces 55 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 980 recoveries. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.